Good morning. Go ahead and call the meeting to order. Glad to have y'all with us today. This is a regular meeting of Chesterfield County Council. December doesn't seem to be like it's the end of the year. So, I mean, they fly by in a hurry. At this time, I'll ask Miss Marianne if she'll lead us in prayer and the pledges of allegiance.
Let us pray. O Lord, our Lord, how excellent is thy name. May we be true to this civic responsibility entrusted to us. May our abilities measure up to the issues before us. Help us to be thorough in our investigations and factual in our presentations. Give us insight without oversight, discernment without distortion, fairness without favoritism. Give us strength to stand tall even if alone, for it is better to fail in something right than win in something wrong. Guide this meeting and remind us that all we do here will be reviewed in the council halls of the last day. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Miss Mary. Thank you, Miss Anderson. Okay, I'd just like to say a couple of things before we move down. I'd just like to congratulate all the winners of the general election. Congratulations to you. We had some newly reelected and some reelected, and I'm sure all of you will do a great job, and I wish you my very best. Okay, with that being said, we'll move down to item number 3, oath of office for Mr. William Todd Smallwood. Christie here? Yes. Y'all gonna come around front?
I do solemnly swear or affirm that I am duly qualified, according to the Constitution of the state, to exercise the duties of the office to which I have been elected, and that I will do my best, to my ability, discharge the duties thereof, and preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of this state and the United States. So help me God. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Mr. Smallwood.
Thank you.
Glad to have you. We'll move down to item 4. I've been told that we do need to amend the agenda. Mr. Ruffner, would you tell us about that?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First, I'd like to welcome Mr. Smallwood to council. I am kind of concerned. I saw him taking a picture before the meeting with 2 gentlemen, Mr. Joyner and Mr. Wallace. I would probably suggest that you crop Mr. Joyner out of that picture before it gets published. Just giving Mr. Joyner a hard time. With regard to the agenda, there is a need to amend that to add item 20B, which would be pursuant to South Carolina Code Section 30-4-70, subsection A2, to enter into executive session for the discussion of negotiations incident to proposed contractual arrangements and proposed sale or purchase of property, the receipt of legal advice that would be covered by attorney-client privilege, and that's regarding the following, which would be purchase of property adjacent to Lynch's River Industrial Park. Included in that motion to amend the agenda would need to be a finding of exigent circumstances such that council may vote on that matter after exiting executive session.
Thank you, Ms. Rushing. With that being said, do I have a motion to amend the agenda?
So moved, Mr.
Motion by Curtis, second by Burns. Any discussion? Here none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. We'll move down to item 5A, Employees' Years of Service. Ms. Kim Wilkes.
Good morning. We would like to recognize a couple employees for their years of service with Chesterfield County. First, we have Byron Burchell, with 5 years with the road department. Mr. Burchell, would you come up? We have Richard Holter with the IT department for 5 years. Bailey Marine with 5 years with the detention center. Josh Newsom with the sheriff's department for 5 years. You can help. Derek A. McQueen with the sheriff's department for 10 years. Samuel Quick, 10 years in the assessor's office. Mr. Leroy Shaw, 35 years at the road department. And then Terry Curtis, 20 years with Chesterfield County, currently in the HR department. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for your service. I'd like to ask Mr. James Dixon if he'll stand up, please. James, this is something that the county wanted to give you in appreciation of all you've done for this county. I'll just read it. Presented to Sheriff James J.D. Dixon in appreciation for your outstanding service and dedications to the citizens of Chesterfield County, South Carolina. Sheriff, Chesterfield County, South Carolina, January 1, 2019 to December 31, 2022 by Chesterfield County Council. And we appreciate you.
Want to get a picture with y'all two. Y'all been around as long as I've been in law enforcement.
They've been around as long as you've been born, J.D. Birthdays. Al, you might as well just stay down there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right there is fine. Thank you. Mr. Repner, would you read the resolution, please?
Resolution of recognition of service to Chesterfield County. Whereas the call to public office requires a natural willingness to serve citizens, and whereas the residents of District 3 voted Mr. Kenneth Al Johnson into office as their council representative, and whereas Councilman Johnson has served on Chesterfield County Council from January 8, 1986 through December 31, 2022, and whereas Councilman Johnson served as chairman of County Council from January 2, 1991 through January 6, 1993, and January 6, 2016 through December 31, 2022. And whereas Councilman Johnson has guided Chesterfield County through many difficult decisions and has always been there when the call was given, and whereas Councilman Johnson's guidance and longstanding service have helped to improve the quality of life for all Chesterfield County residents, now therefore be it resolved and council duly assembled that Chesterfield County Council acknowledges, recognizes, congratulates, and thanks Councilman Kenneth Al Johnson for his dedicated service to the citizens of Chesterfield County.
As you all know, everybody knows, should know Sheriff Johnson. I've known him a long time. Mr. Johnson was here in Sherman when I came, and he's here in Sherman when he leaves, and I'm very proud of that. Mr. Johnson has been very instrumental in the progression of this county. He has served during some difficult times. He led us through the pandemic. He took on a great task with this building reconstruction that we've done, and has served in many, many capacities, and has helped me, along with others, along the way by leadership and guidance and wisdom to where we have come together as a great county. In the past 6 years, I don't know that there's been 2 votes that weren't united under his leadership. And to me, that's something to be proud of. Very proud. Mr. Johnson has mentored me. If I've got questions, he's always been one to be able to answer them with honesty, integrity, and respect. He is a leader that don't pull any punches. Everybody gets the same information. Everybody's on board. He's never played politics that I'm aware of, and I'm proud of that. And I'll say this with distinction, that I can say this to very few people. You gave me somebody to look up to, even though I can look over the top of your head. I mean that sincerely. I know you speak a little bit, I don't want to put my hands on you, but I won't love you next. But I'll give you one later. All right. I am very, very thankful that you've been here during my tenure, and you have taught me and this council a lot of things, and we're very, very proud of you. And with that being said, I've got another special guest, Mr. Andy Ingram, the mayor of Gerard, who has been a long time dear, dear friend of Mr. Johnson. If he would come up and say a few words. Mr. Johnson, we'll give you the, present you with the golden BB. Thank you all so much. Yes, sir. You gotta wait on Andrew. I'll wait on him. We've been
Well, I appreciate this opportunity to speak on behalf of Chairman Johnson. Al and I go way back, and I'm not here to tell any trade secrets on you, Mr. Chairman. But Al, as it was mentioned a moment ago, took office in January of 1986. I had the privilege of take office on this county council in 1987. Originally, Chesterfield County Council was made up of 3 council members. Then it grew to 7 because of home rule, and then it grew to 9 members, as you have today. But back in the day, with that number of council members, Al and I were part of the council group, Eddie, called the Chesterfield County Mafia. And it was made up of myself, Al, Eddie, Gerald, and Ida Mae Birch. And we saw that we needed to form that pact in order to move Chesterfield County forward and get things done, and it worked. But I'm glad today, under Al's leadership, that this council has not had to go to that extreme. And it's great, and it's proven over the years. Al is probably one of, if not the longest serving county council member in Chesterfield County with 36 years. My father had the honor of serving on county council for 32 years upon his death, And that's when I decided to run for his vacant seat on county council, and I had the privilege of serving on this council for 8 years with Al. One thing I will say, and y'all know this, Al Johnson is probably one of the tightest council members I've ever served with. He and Chap Hurst could stretch a dollar better than anybody I've ever seen, and he still can. And I say that in a good way. Also, there was a tradition back in the day, Eddie, when we would finish our county council meeting, we would go out to the county jail and have lunch. And it was like going to a family reunion because it was so much food. And each council member had the opportunity to invite a guest. And this tradition went on for many years until one council member started asking so many people to come eat that they could never plan on how many people to feed, so we had to stop doing that. But my working relationship with Al did not stop when I left county council. It has continued over all these years, and it's been great. Al and I have communicated on a regular basis over these years to discuss county business and town business. And the town of Sherrall has enjoyed a great relationship with Chesterfield County Council, and that is greatly appreciated. But Al, I want to thank you for the 36 years you have helped lead this county. Your dedication, leadership, and experience will be greatly missed. I thank you for your service, but most of all, I thank you for your friendship.
Thank y'all so much for all those kind words. But enough about me, let's move on with this meeting.
Most of it was a lie, though.
Yeah, probably so. Thank you, Curtis.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we'll move down to,
Mr. Chairman,
yes, sir.
pass that resolution. I make a motion, we pass the resolution that was just read for special
I'm
recognition.
sorry. Got a motion, got a second. All right, well, thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. Thank you, Mr. Button, for reminding me of that. Okay, now we're gonna move down. Miss Libby Lear here. Come on up, Miss Lear.
Well, as most of you know, Sherry McCoy has been my mentor for the last 8 months. Every single day, she has amazed me with her know-how, her connections, and how humble she is about everything. Sherry, thank you so much for imparting your wisdom with me. I haven't gotten it all yet. You have had so much dedication. You've given so much to this county. And Sherry has tried to retire so many times. We're finally going to let her retire in the traditional coming to the office role. So I think that she's finally going to get that ankle bracelet off. We do work hard every day, and we've been really busy. But if you're around, if any of you have been around Sherry much, you know that there's always going to be a little bit of fun. One of the first trips that I took with Sherry was to visit the governor's mansion for a legislative reception. And Sherry was kind enough to introduce me to people that she had known for years. We ate some good food, but I think the highlight of our day that day was meeting the governor's dog, Mac, his bulldog. So, Sherry, if you'll come up here, I've got a photo that they took at the governor's mansion with you and the governor's dog.
I plop right down in the floor with the dogs.
And
Every time I turn around, this woman was taking a picture.
the county also has a gift that they wanted to recognize you with. And this is from the county. And that is you and Matt.
And the dog. I have on the same thing I had on today. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for all your patience.
Thank y'all so much. It has been it's been a long time since '94, but, and hopefully I'll still be able to help Libby out by, in a limited way, but not coming in and working anymore, so that part's gonna be over.
All right, I just wanted everybody to see you petting the dog. Cherry's a big animal lover, we all are.
Ladies, let me get a shot, please.
Jerry, we appreciate you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we'll move down to item 6A, approval of last month's minutes. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Motion by Burns, second by Conklin. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. Got the bonds coming around, Mr. Eubanks. Okay, we move down to item 8A, under appointments, Mr. John Biddle, Mayor of Chesterfield. Come on up, Mr. Biddle.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Sammy, if you would you mind standing, because you're part of this as well?
You can lean on me.
I can lean on you, okay. Just want to wish everybody happy holidays and safe travels if you're going with your family and all that. The town of Chesterfield, several years ago, tried to reach out and do some remodeling, trying to get upstairs the old courthouse completed to make into an arts theater type thing, not only for Chesterfield, but for Chesterfield County. It was pre-COVID, COVID came in, kind of went under the table due to funding and all that. Marla Hamilton, Marla Jacobs has retired from the Chesterfield County School District and approached me about taking this project on and renovating the old courthouse. One of the first steps was the parking lot there, and the parking lot's in bad shape. I've had several complaints through the solicitor's office employees there with the potholes. The town, I've reached out to Tim Eubanks. The town has put cold patch in it numerous times, but it continues to come out. Well, the first thing we wanted to do, and I met with Sammy, and we've got a committee, which Dr. Anderson from the school board's on this committee as well, is trying to bring the old courthouse back to existence for an arts theater type situation for not just Chesterfield, but for Chesterfield County, for schools and everything else. The first thing I wanted to try to do was the parking lot, and to be a continuation from Green Street to Highway 145, which is Biddle Street there. And it'd be similar to the way Biddle Street is designed now with parking spaces. But with COG, they won't do anything with the parking lot. So I sent through Tim, I think he got to every one of y'all. If you don't, I have copies of the cost on Biddle Street and then the parking lot, which COG will not pay for anything. And the total cost on that, I think, was like $154 something. Over the years, with economic development using the parking lot, and also now with the solicitor's office, we're asking for some help and assistance with maybe matching half of that on the parking lot behind the solicitor's office. And, this could be a good thing, trying to get this completed, not just for Chesterfield, but for the county, for the schools, for weddings, all types of things, if this project can get, go through. We've met with Richie Yao. We've also been in contact with Senator Scott's office with some federal grant money as well, and looking at somewhere around projected figure of about $1.9 million to complete the upstairs. But it has so much potential for our community, and not, like I said, not just for Chesterfield, but for this county. But my main concern right now is the parking lot, and coming to you as far as asking for assistance to do the parking lot only, and then the town will, any type of money we have to put forward for Biddle Drive, we will resume that responsibility. If you have any questions, Sammy's been a big part of this as well. He can answer questions through COG. The architect designs we did, I didn't want to come back and have to do it again. I had to pay for that, which COG did both the Biddle Drive and the parking lot for us. And then they also, when y'all was here the last meeting, that y'all wanted numbers, so I brought the numbers to y'all this time. So I wish you considered, as far as helping with the parking lot this time, if you would.
Any questions? If not, I'll ask Mr. Butler if he ever, oh, I'm sorry. Did somebody have a question?
I got one.
Go ahead, Ms. Curtis.
Mayor, the number that you're looking for from the county, I never did hear that, or either.
Well, it was 154. The total project for is 153,425, and I think that we were asking for y'all for 76,712. The whole total project for the other side is going to be 213,708, but we're handling that through COG.
Gotcha.
Is that all, Ms.
Thank you.
Curtis?
Yes, sir.
What I was gonna say, Mr. Butler, would the finance company, committee take this out and look at it?
Yes, sir.
All right. And they'll come back with a recommendation from the council.
All right, thank you so much.
All right.
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
Thank you. Now, item B, I think the name's been changed, Waddell Merriman. Come on up, Mr. Merriman.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I appreciate the opportunity to stand before you today and speak about an issue that is in the Hillian Edwards Road in Sherrall, South Carolina. I have a little timeline that I just want to run down to you for the meetings we've been going to at Chesterfield County Rural Water. Get my assistance here. On April 21st, I attended the Chesterfield County Rural Water meeting. At the moment, I was not on the docket to speak, but they did acknowledge my issue. A day later, I spoke to Mr. Harold Porter, a representative of the Chesterfield County Rural Water. I was told that if I wanted to speak, he would let it be known. May 12th, next month of the meeting, I was allowed to speak at the meeting and address the issue at hand. Told them about our critical water crisis in our area. Wells going dry, many people having trouble with the water, some without water. I myself have had issues with my well. I had to resort to hauling water from family and go to public laundromats to wash clothes. To show that the issue was true and sincere, I asked people of the community to attend the meeting with me. We had about 15 to 20 people attend the meeting and confirmed this was an issue in our community for over 30 years. June 9th, next meeting, attended the meeting about our issue with the water. Informed that Mr. Charlie Gray, manager of Chesterfield County Water, at the time had retired. They were under new management. Both Mr. Dustin Cato, the new manager, and Mr. Sweeney told us that they would be getting back with us, with me, and the people in the community. A couple weeks passed, Mr. Cato, the new manager, got in touch with me. He and I had some flyers that we wanted to give to the people and speak to them if possible. He and I spoke to some of them. Some of them we spoke to, some we left flyers in the mailboxes and in meeting and in their doors. In the meantime, I reached out to Mr. Buck Graham, DHEC manager. I spoke to him about having the water tested for contaminants. Water levels are very low and more people have moved into the community than before. Mr. Graham said that it would be a moment before our results come back because of the holiday of July approaching. He also felt that we had enough people in our community to have rural water in this area and that he would speak to them about it. He took time and rode through the community with me and confirmed that we should have water line in this area with the amount of people in the community. July 14th, result of the water test were back. Some contaminants were found in the water. I attended the meeting with other people of the community. We were told to get a list of people who were interested in the water line. I did just that I went from door to door. People give their name and addresses. Some were home and some were not. About 35 to 40 people I reached out to. Mr. Richie Yao, I spoke to him. We talked, and he was able to look at a map of surrounding areas adjacent to us that had rural water line. Midway Road, Orchard Road, Brox Mill. They were even a water line running through Hardy Swamp, where no one lives. Mind you, this has been 30-some odd years of no water in our community, and the communities adjacent to us don't have half the people we have in our community. August 11th, me and other people, other community attended the meeting. Again, our issue was addressed with a list of people in the community. We brought it to their attention about the adjacent areas who have water lines. They told us they have to get engineers and so forth and so on, and it costs, and it takes time to do so. Mind you that they started the water lines years ago, 30 plus to be exact, from Brox Mill in and stopped, then from number 9 in and stopped. All of us between have no water line. If they began long ago, then it has already been engineered. For some reason, they did not complete it. Talk to your representatives, they promised us. They told us to talk to our representatives. They promised us $900,000 grant. I don't know what about that. We have not received it. We've done everything they have told us to do. Then they throw that at us. September 8th, we attended the meeting. By then, I and some other reached out to the PD cog, spoke to Ms. Dukes. She gave me a number to Ms. Lindsay Privet, who is with the Water Rule Line. She said that there was a grant or avenue available for the SDBG HUD grant. She was meeting with them in a couple of weeks, and she would discuss this issue of ours and let them know about the grant available. I mentioned Ms. Privet to them in the meeting, and they were aware of her in the meeting. They had, and about the grant she said was available, but nothing concrete was told to us if they were going to pursue this grant for our situation, because there were some other issues they would have to take care of and as well, and they will get back with us on the matter. The meeting on this day was long because people from all over the county was upset with the raising of the water bill for the county. Some were 50 to 80 to 100% increase. For some people, we were told it would be $1,200 for us to tap on if they ran lines our way. October 13th, meeting was canceled until the 27th. We attended the meeting. By then, they said that they checked out some resources, came up with an emergency grant that they may be available along with the SDBG grant. By then, I reached out to Mr. Rhett Butler and Mr. Heath Ruffner, and they said that there is assistance available for them if they will reach out to them. November 10th, we attended the meeting, and it was much of the same. They are doing this and that as we speak, and the people that I've been talking to are really just blowing smoke up. You get the point. They are just telling whatever we want to hear because of election. Will get back with us. Have not heard from anyone from Chesterfield County Rural Water. It's sad to know that the people in position to help people won't help them. We have been coming to them since April about our situation, giving them information about resources they act like they are not aware of. This community has been coming to them for some 30-odd years about this issue, and it's still not resolved. They pray before the meeting and read the mission statement, but me and the others in our community say that the mission statement is fabricated. And why bring God into this if you are clearly not being brother or sister to the community in need of clean water and refuse to help them for whatever reason? If they are not standing by their mission, why are they still in business? And what are they doing with the money available to them? Just asking. I thank the Chesterfield County Council for allowing me to speak and you taking time to hear what I had to say. I pray that there is a way that this issue can be resolved because the people of this community need this water line No one, and especially children, should not have this problem at this day and age when you have the resources to make a difference. Thank you.
Mr. Merriman, Mr. Butler, did you have something you
Yeah, I
want to
just.
comment on this?
Yeah, I just want to comment on this. Mr. Merriman and Ms. Henson have both been in contact with us. I've talked to both of them on a number of occasions, and they really have an issue there. And Tim and our county attorney and myself and with some other staff members, we met with rural water a couple of weeks ago and discussed some possible solutions, but there's nothing definitive at this time. But they do have an issue.
Thank
They
you.
are working on it for you and do what we can.
Yes, sir, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, we'll move down to item 8C, Augustine C. Benton. Is that correct, Tim?
Yes. I don't know if she's here or not.
Apparently, she's not here. Okay, so we'll move on. We'll move down to item 9, public comments. Is anyone here wish to address council? Don't see nobody standing up, so we will move on. If there's no one here that wishes to address council, we'll move down to item 10, public hearing. We have none. Item 11A, Project PAC inducement resolution. Mr. Ruffner, you want to tell us a little bit about that?
This is an economic development item. Council was briefed on this project within the last month or two. This is the inducement resolution, which would be the first step, and then also the next item is the fee in lieu ordinance, first reading by title only.
So one just follows the other, but we need to pass the resolution first.
Yes, sir.
Now I have a motion to pass the resolution. Motion by Conklin, who was the other one? Butler. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. B, of course, this would be the first reading. Do I have a motion to pass the first reading? Ms. Smallwood, would you like to do that? So moved. All right. Second. You got a second. All right. Any discussion? Congratulations. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. Okay, item 12, nothing, 13. Item 14A, setting the meeting time and dates for next year. Mr. Eubanks.
Okay, y'all all got a copy in your packet. The setting of the meetings, all of them will fall on the first Wednesday of each month with the exception of August. That's our annual conference, and that will be the second Wednesday, which is August the 9th of that. Y'all are okay with that?
In other words, that's your recommendation?
That's my recommendation.
That's basically the same thing it was last year.
That's correct.
Make a motion approved.
Have a motion by Curtis, second by Miller. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. Down to item B, Mr. Eubanks.
The holidays will be the same thing as last year, with the exception, y'all been gracious enough to give us Juneteenth this upcoming year, thanks to Ms. Burns. Thank you, Ms. Burns, for that. If y'all okay with that, that's my recommendations to accept that.
Do I have a motion? Motion by Butler, second by Anderson. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. We'll move down to item C, retirement of K-9 Lily. James, you handling that, or is Chris here?
Chris is in back, I'll take care of it. We'd like to retire K-9 Lily. It's one of our K-9s, one of the older dogs that we've had for a while. We've been very successful with her. She's aged out now. And we're going to retire to Jerry Lundy, one of our K-9 operators, well, the ones that run that bloodhounds. He's going to take that dog home with him and make sure it has a good rest of its life, if that's okay.
Okay. So we need a motion to retire. Motion by Anderson, second by Ben Conklin. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. So Kay Lily is retired. Thank you, James.
Take her out to feed bowl, can't we, Sheriff?
All right, we'll move down to item 14D, comprehensive plan. Mr. Eubanks.
Okay, Ms. Boswell passed this form out to you with the comprehensive plan numbers. If y'all remember, council agreed PDCOG was going to do a comprehensive plan for us and include all the municipalities within the county with the sum of $90,000. Everyone, and with that, council agreed to pay half of that, which would have been $45,000. And going to all the municipalities, everyone agreed to do it with the exception of Pageland. They chose not to. And we did it by a percentage based on population of which municipality would pay what of the remaining 45,000. With Pageland, when they chose not to join in with the comprehensive plan, their portion at that time was $9,945. Now, if we pick up half of that and move on, that would leave somewhere around $4,500 for the other municipalities to pick up. Then I would have to go back to the municipalities to get them to increase that. It's my recommendation, it would make it a lot smoother, is if council would just choose to pick that up, and that would be the sum, the county would have to pay the sum of $54,945, and the other municipalities would stay the same.
Because the other municipalities have already been given these
They've
figures.
already been given these numbers, and I would have to go back to each individual where, after this meeting, I could turn PD cog loose on our comprehensive plan. And you're talking, basically, our part would be less than $5,000 if you choose to go back to all the municipalities and put it on them. So I'm asking y'all to let's go ahead and move forward, and y'all let the county pay Pageland's portion, and let's move on.
Now, question, Mr. Eubanks. Why is Paisley not want to go in with us on this comprehensive plan?
I cannot answer that question. I know we've had conversations with them, but they chose not to do it.
So when this comprehensive plan is being done, it will not include the town of Paisley?
That's correct.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
Because they chose not to do it.
That's correct. I mean, there'll be committees formed and all throughout this plan with the remainder of the county, with the exception of the Pageland area.
I'm looking at Mr. Rivers wanting to say something there, I'm sure. But, please.
You have to realize the ramifications of politics in Paisley at this point in time.
Yes, sir.
Chesterfield County needs a comprehensive plan. And all the county needs to be a part of that. When this was brought up at the town council meeting, there was only one or two that had any comment on it. Basically, it was the mayor. Our mayor pretty much runs the town of Paisley most of the time. He felt that it was not in the town's best interest not to be a part of this comprehensive plan. Even though we've relied on PD cog for all these years to assist us in any plans that they were involved in. So that's where we stand on that. We need a comprehensive plan for Chesterfield County. And maybe the politics will change at some point in time that they can be included.
And Mr. Eubanks, if I understand you, you're asking this council to consider just going ahead and paying Payson's part so it won't interfere with the rest of the towns and all that stuff.
That's correct.
Which I think is a great idea
That's correct.
in the situation we're in.
Mr. Chairman, I think everybody needs to understand that this is not just a need, this is a requirement.
Okay, so we know what Mr. Eubanks is asking for.
Got a question.
Yes, sir, Ms. Curtis.
And Mr. Rivers, I'm not pointing a finger at you, you know that, you're my friend. But my question, and I feel sure it's in your mind, with Pageland being the fastest growing area in this county, how can they not be included when they're going to be a major player in this comprehensive plan? I mean, everything's got to funnel through Pageland at some point in time with commerce. It just doesn't make, I know you have no doings with it whatsoever, but it just doesn't make a whole lot of common sense to me for them to opt out.
Well, I wish I had an answer it for you, but I
Yes,
don't.
sir.
That's the route they chose, and the entire council voted on it. So that's where we stand with the comprehensive plan.
Well, hopefully as we move forward, they'll change their mind.
They gonna be included in the comprehensive plan.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
To a certain degree, but when it comes down to specific points of the plan, no, there will not be any detailed outline of what they need to do to pursue the future growth of the western end of the county.
Correct.
And we've got a lot going on up there, but, that's the situation we're in.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes,
So to
ma'am,
make
Ms.
sure,
Burns.
to make sure I understand, Pageant also has to have a comprehensive plan. So are they agreeing to do their own, at their own expense, as opposed to coming in with the county?
They are doing a comprehensive plan, but they feel that they've far enough along with their comprehensive plan that they don't need to be a part of this. That's my interpretation. I have not been directly involved with discussions with them, nor with COG on their proceeding with their comprehensive plan. We've all got to work together, folks. It's so important for this county to move forward, and that end of the county is certainly a major part of this plan. And at some point in time, hopefully things will work out where they'll be a part of it.
I've had a lot of conversations with Mayor Evans because I know, comprehensive plan is incredibly important for all of us. And from what I understand, theirs expires in 2 years. And so that's when they were gonna do another one, and rather than stopping where they are now and starting again. And I expressed, our need to all be on the same page. And from what I gather, I think that there's some folks that were concerned that if they went in with us on a comprehensive plan, then they were giving up some, power's not the right word, but they're giving up some control over planning and zoning, because we would have a consolidated group for the county, which I think PD-COG tried to, or several at COG tried to talk to them about that and explain that there's really, that wouldn't be something that would happen, but they just decided to go in a different direction. Too, I'm very disappointed in it too, because what happens in one side of the county affects the entire county. We do all need to be on the same page, and I don't understand it either.
From a cost benefit, I don't know what they're paying, but I feel like it would be a little bit more than $9,945, even in 2 years.
They're already under contract with COG to do a comprehensive plan. And it's under works right now. I don't understand all the politics involved, but hopefully we'll move forward as a county rather than leaving this group out or that group out. Be the same if Cheraw opted out and said, no, we don't want no part of y'all no more. We go into Marlboro County. We'll work through this. It's just a matter of time. Politics are strange sometimes. But I can apologize for not being a part of it.
Well, that's neither here nor there. We cannot force Payson to do anything they don't want to do. So we have got to get ours moving on, get it done. And this is the simplest way to do it, is to pick up that tab, let the county pick up the tab and turn them loose. Is that right,
That's
Dan?
correct. I can turn them loose today, if y'all agree to this.
So I need
I make a
That being
motion.
said, his recommendation, I'll make that motion.
I'll
a
second.
motion from Mr. Curtis, and was that Anderson?
Yes, sir.
Second by Anderson. Any discussion? Hear none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved.
Let the record show I voted for it.
Yes, sir.
Unanimous, it was unanimous.
One more time.
I'm interested in progress, and I think the progress of this county is on the western end, folks. We got things going on that end. And we will continue to do that.
Okay, we got item 14E, a letter of support, Hope Wells Housing Opportunities for People. You know much about that, Tim?
Yes.
Mr. Ruffner knows all about it.
I don't know about that. This is a request for a letter of support that was included in council's packet. This has been done in the past in 2020. This is to a letter of support for Hope Health's housing opportunities for people living with HIV and AIDS. This is not a pledge of any funds to that organization, but simply a letter of support which will allow them to pursue funds and grants from other entities. Again, council approved this 2 years ago when it was requested.
Okay. Do I have a motion to approve this? Motion by Burns, second by Ms. Small. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. Okay. Unfinished business, board appointments, none. Mr. Eubanks, you got anything to say for us today?
Just a couple. According to Libby and Cherry, there's going to be a need for a special meeting December 28th. That's correct, right? So I know Ms. Boswell's going to try to make sure we've got a quorum here for a special meeting then.
I'm assuming that's an economic development.
That's correct. So, and the only other thing I've got is I just want to thank you you were here when I came, and I appreciate you've been great to work with, and you're going to be missed, so.
Same here, Tim.
All right.
No, ma'am, that's all right. Thank you, Jerry. All right, any council members got anything?
Chairman Johnson, I was just going to say that I appreciate the opportunity that Mr. Conklin and Ms. Burns and I had to attend the COG conference at the beach. We attended on behalf of the PDCOG, and we had some really good sessions on branding, economic development. They're very interesting. And then Ms. Burns and I attended the South Carolina Association's conference in Greenville recently, and we heard the policy positions that the association's going to be helping us with this coming year. If you read through the positions and you have any questions on them, I think we're pretty well versed on it because we've now heard them 3 times, I believe. And then we also heard some presentations from DHEC and the Office of Cybersecurity, and Ms. Burns and I were saying we had some good ideas on things that we might be able to bring back to the county, but I just appreciate those opportunities.
Thank you, Ms. Anderson. Anyone else? Ms. Curtis?
Yes, sir, real quickly, Mr. Johnson, I want to echo the administrator's sentiment. Al, you gave half your life to this county, and this county appreciates you. I appreciate you, and even though you may not be sitting in that chair, you've been my friend a long time, and you're gonna have a forever lifelong friend. All you have to do is call.
Thank you, Mr. Curtis. Same here.
you.
Same here. Okay, any other council member got anything?
I'd also like to say, Mr. Johnson, that you've been here, you've been the chair since I've been on council. I truly appreciate your openness and your honesty. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Burns. And you know, I thank the world of all of you. Sure do, staff and everybody. I thank so much of you. And I appreciate all of you. And, you know, sort of kind of like my favorite country music star, George Strait. He retired about 4 years ago, but he's still running around the country singing, so I'll be around. I hope the Lord ain't taking me nowhere. Ain't that about right, James? We hope we're gonna be here a while.
Yeah.
Okay, with that being said, we do have a need to go in executive session. Mr. Ruffner, will you tell us what we need to do in there?
Yes, sir. In addition to the item that we mentioned at the beginning of the meeting, which I won't repeat, there's also a need to go in executive session pursuant to 30-4-70 subsection A5. That is for economic development matter, specifically Project Kentucky Blue, which is HS Growers, and as noted on the agenda, council may take action on that by voting after exiting executive session.
Okay, so with that being said, do I have a motion to enter an executive session? Motion by Butler, second by Anderson. Any discussion?
Bathroom break.
Yes, we'll take about a 10-minute break. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. So moved. We will now enter an executive session in about 10 minutes. session, we did not take any votes, or any votes were taken. All right, Ms. Rivers, you have a motion?
Chairman, I make a motion that we allow our Economic Development Director and Ms. McCoy to negotiate on this property that we've been discussing.
Okay. Have a motion, do I have a second? Second by Copeland, any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved. Or as I know, that is it, isn't it, Mr. Eubanks?
That's it.
Motion we adjourn.
And just to hold on just a minute, just one other thing, I certainly appreciate this from all of y'all. Thank you so much.
We appreciate you.
That golden DV.
Okay. Motion adjourned,
Motion adjourned.
second by Mr. Smallwood. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
So moved, we are adjourned.